I'm Hunter with Big Bang Radio, and today I have with me Ed and Joel from Circus of the West. And how are you guys doing today?
Glad to be here.
Very glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
All right, wonderful. I guess my first question would be, how would you describe or define Circus of the West as like a musical entity?
The word morons comes to mind. Incompetent is another one that pops. No, I think that we approach things from a song-driven standpoint. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's fair, Ed.
Not very good at interviews is another thing that I would say.
We're a bunch of rookies.
Oh, the same?
Old rookies.
Yeah.
But, so both of you guys write lyrics, right?
Right.
Right. Well, can you tell us a bit about like your process, like where you write most often, when the inspiration comes, like anything about that? Or?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Sure. Yeah, you never know where you're going to find inspiration for a song. They just kind of pop into your head, and the way the songs that I've taken the lead on, you just kind of sit down and start plopping things down and seeing what comes out, and then I usually present them to Ed, and he refines and tweaks and usually kicks my ass a little bit and tells me I'm stupid and it's a dumb idea and these should be 12 different songs instead of one song, and eventually we get to a place where we're pretty happy with it.
That's awesome. But I guess another question would be like, where did the name Circus of the West come from?
Well, so in Native American theology or spirituality, the West is associated with self-reflection and kind of like intense looking inward and change and transformation. And so what I was thinking at the time in my stupor was that there was this juxtaposition of what we were doing between kind of intense self-reflection and all that kind of stuff, and also bringing it to the town square, so to speak, and dealing with the stuff publicly, which I think is one of the beautiful things about music, at least it is for me. And so everybody else kind of looked at me like they thought I was stupid and annoying for all of the in-depth stuff that I was talking about, and they went, but it sounds kind of cool. We should maybe consider that as a band name. So we did.
And I think it's pretty clear Ed is the pretentious one after that.
Yeah.
Right. So like
Joel's glasses suggest otherwise.
So it's like the philosophical jester. So you guys like came together in Joel's basement, and like when was that? Like how long have you guys been playing together?
So we are all most of us are lawyers by day, and I joined this law firm a few years ago, and I heard that Ed was a good singer, and I stalked him. I was playing in a band, and we were looking for a good singer, and I stalked him repeatedly for several days until he finally, because he's the pretentious one, gave me the time of day to talk to me, and that was about probably 2.5 years ago. And then we did a session in my basement where he and I just played acoustic guitar, I think, and just totally hit it off, and both had the same ideas of wanting to write songs. Both sort of grew up influenced by some of the same music, a lot of the Minneapolis-based music, the Replacements and Husker Du, and sort of that indie rock vibe that was so big in the 80s and 90s in Minneapolis. And we had the same influences, and we both like to write songs, and we've just sort of been doing it for about 2 years now.
Three.
Yeah,
I'd say 3 years. I don't know the exact.
That's awesome.
We're out of Joel's basement, by the way.
It's still not in Joel's basement anymore.
It was threatening his marriage, so we had to go, and we've got a practice space, and we're a little more legitimate now.
That's awesome. Are you still working on a video for the song Resurrection?
We are. So here's what's interesting about that. I may as well just dive in. We're in the last years, I've had the honor of working for hundreds of victims of clergy sexual abuse. It's kind of a heavy topic, but right now a bunch of the Catholic dioceses in Minnesota have filed for bankruptcy, and I'm a lawyer. So, and it's, I think, deepened me as a person and all that, and I couldn't be happier to be representing the people, so I'm not complaining. The song Resurrection, Joel actually wrote most of the lyrics to. I kind of chimed in at the end, and we worked on a little bit of a theme, and we say that the song was written by both of us, but it was mostly written by Joel. It's a story from one person's perspective about what these people went through. And we did have a specific person in mind when we wrote it, who's one of my heroes, who was a survivor of clergy sexual abuse. and has been an absolute leader in that world. I may as well mention, we've talked to, nothing bad can come of more visibility and more light being shown on what happened. We were a little bit worried. We wrote the song because we felt it in our hearts. We were a little bit worried about making a video for the song initially because it kind of feels like you're trying to capitalize or publicize your band and sort of prop your band up on the history of these people who've been through something so profound.
Right.
So we reached out to the people and asked them, both the attorneys that represent them and have for decades, and also to the people themselves, and said, are we doing something offensive here if we make a video? And every single one of them said, no, do it. The more attention we can draw and bring to this, no matter what, through what format, it's a strong thing. So we delayed a little bit out of the gate in making the video for that reason as well, because we wanted to treat the subject matter and the people with respect.
Okay. Well, it's very understandable.
Forgive me, I have sinned by holding all this in. I don't feel like talking, I very rarely do. But I see where the levee breaks. I've crawled across frozen lakes. I've looked for signs from heaven's gates while I wait. I set my lines in a foreign tongue. I watched my world come undone. stood aside the altar to sacrifice the lamb. Your eyes made me falter. The bindings were on my hands. So I wandered through the desert for 40 years alone, promised salvation from a relic nation that won't atone.
What are some of your inspirations from like a lyrical sense?
Lyrical inspirations?
Yes, lyrical inspirations.
Is that the question? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Boy, it's everything. I'm definitely grew up on the, like we said, the old Minneapolis sort of indie rock scene. But beyond that, it's Dylan. It's anybody who writes a good song is influential. It's good storytellers. A lot of inspiration for me lately actually comes from reading the news. And as I'm driving to work, and I think I'd like to write an op-ed about that. There's just something really sad in the news, or something where I feel people need to take action. And my immediate reaction is to, I should write a letter about it. And then I think, hold on, I write songs. I should write a song about it.
With that, I think my lyrics tend to be less noble, because they're way more focused on my own personal life stuff. I think the best lyrics have both a very, very intensely personal component that can then be related and brought back to some universal idea or theme or whatever, like that everyone can relate to. Because I just think that they're more specific and more accurate that way, and more reflective of, not to get lofty, but more reflective of human condition, which is really what music's trying to do, is give people something to identify with and to feel less alone through, and to party to, and to feel good about, or to share isolated or difficult sort of periods with. Absolutely. Indirectly. It's public, but not public. So you can go through something tough while you're listening to music. You don't feel alone, but at the same time, you don't feel exposed.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And what do we know better than ourselves, right? So it's like that's all we really can know. But so who wrote
Hunter? Yeah.
Who wrote the song Boxes?
That was me.
I have a question for you then. Do you think the boxes in which we live, the tapestries we create for ourselves, are often self-made or forced upon us by others?
Definitely a combination.
A combination?
What do you think?
I don't know.
I know I'm not supposed to ask the question, but I'm interested to know kind of where the question's coming from and what you're thinking.
Well, no, I really enjoyed the song, and because whenever I listen to music, lyrics are very much the focus of what I listen to. Like I can't ignore what people are saying just because you can bob your head to it, and so I was deeply fascinated by that song. And I think that it all depends on the circumstance of your upbringing. If you're in a harsh environment, a lot of times you have to have that box just to keep yourself safe. And then sometimes when your environment's too comfortable, it's it's kind of a negative way of doing it. You put yourself in this lofty ideal, and it's kind of like a castle instead of a box more so. It keeps you above everyone, and it doesn't let you see the imperfections that you have.
I love all that. I think it's really valid. I think that's true. And I think when you are suffering, I think that boundaries and boxes are not something that you should try, especially when you're in the middle of a trauma. They're definitely something you should hold on to. Really more what the song is about questioning the parameters we're putting on each other. And to me, what I do not want to do if I love someone is make my height of them or their function in my life more important than what they are.
Right.
Because I don't feel like that has anything to do with real, authentic love.
Right.
So I think institutions can do that. You know, they're really more worried about what they get out of you than what you are, and about allowing that thing to blossom or evolve. That's my explanation. I kind of liked yours better, to be honest. That's my explanation.
This is what you are. This is who I am. We play house like children to keep the truth from seeping in. Like indoor flowers grow, only drinking sanctioned light. Our tired ideas hold us down and insulate us from the night. We live in boxes, tiny little boxes, pretending to you the other things is true, never stepping outside the lines. Yeah, good actors find a way to make their story fit the stage. We've been pretending for so long, reading from the same worn page. We living in boxes, precious little boxes, standing one step from the light, ignoring our lost sight, always keeping one another in mind. Yeah. Clouds, but what's it matter if we're hiding underground? I'm not the things you made of me. Maybe we're just too blind to see. There's got to be another way. 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 Plots lay side by side, and so our story will be told. It's just the way we wish to be remembered, never spilling from our molds. Yeah, there were things I never said, feral secrets burned inside. If I'd have opened up and let the fire spread, could we have put it out in time? We lived in boxes, repainted boxes, pretending to be who the other thought they knew, created safe and confined. We choked in boxes, wrapped in perfect boxes. If I were stronger, I'd have shown that the devil was unknown, and his shadow kept us safe and blind. We died in boxes, secret buried in boxes. And I think you know I would have let yours go if you'd opened up the door to mine.
So, like, what's next for you guys? You got an album out, you're working on a music video. Where do you see the direction of your band heading next?
I think live performance is really, really, really fulfilling, and studio time is really, really fulfilling too. I think we're going to do both. We have some live dates sort of in the hopper. They're not announced yet, but we're working on it. We'd love to do regional stuff. We're trying to link up with some regional bands and do that. We're thinking about reaching out more nationally it's tricky because we all work all the time. But we're also looking at recording again, and actually early August is going to be a time for Joel and I to be workshopping a bunch of new songs that are in the works too. So there'll be a new record coming out soon.
Okay, that's awesome. I guess
did I miss anything?
I guess I have one more question, and that would be song number 8's Finale. But then there's 3 songs after that, and I was wondering if there was any particular conscious decision to having the 8th track be Finale.
That's Joel's fault, because he thought the song was too sad to finish a record with that song.
That's awesome. It was too predictable to just end there. You had to.
And we've a little too predictable. We do end a song that really didn't make the record. We end all of our live performances with a song called House Lights, which is really kind of a call to everybody to say, hey, we're all in this together. Let's turn the lights on and kind of appreciate that we're all sort of one, is one of the lyrics from the song. Even though the whole song, House Lights, didn't make the record for various reasons, I think we sort of thought that's, since we've always closed with that song, that was sort of an appropriate closer, and it's also, has the line that we have so much left to do that really this is just foreshadowing, hopefully, more to come.
That's awesome. All right, well, I've really enjoyed talking to you all.
Same, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and thanks for answering my questions, especially about boxes. I was just I wanted to see your opinion on it. Because
I loved it, man. Thank you so much for the questions.
Y'all have a great day now. All right.
You too, man. See ya.
See ya.
Chest, you can't get no rest, but you carry on, carry on. A migrant's path, it don't erase his past. Something to last, but in a liquid state we all evaporate. We need roots with time and space, and wait while we sing a song.